Hey all, it's Mary Kalbach, and it's Tuesday, so we try to do some tapping on Tuesday, Tapping Tuesday. And I promised some of my folks on my list, that I would tell a cool story about what we're going to do today. I have my daughter, Faith, here with me. Say hi, Faith.
Hi.
She's going to help me. So there's this really cool thing that happens when we're tapping that we call borrowing benefits. And that means that you can watch someone else tap. We're going to tap together, and you can get the benefit of the tapping just by watching. That's because your what you call your mirror neurons are watching what's going on, and they're imitating it sort of for your own brain. So this is like the same thing that if someone smiles, it makes us smile. If someone yawns, it makes us yawn, right? Because we have these mirror neurons in our brain that mirror. Hey to whoever's hopping on here. I can't see who you are, unfortunately. If you comment in and let me know, then I'll know you're here. So we have these mirror neurons that mirror what's going on in front of us and kind of trick us into thinking that it's going on for our brain as well. So I have a really cool story about this that I promised I would share. And that was this huge benefit that I got once in doing this. So when we go to our EFT trainings, you know, for a certification, whatever, we're in these classes, and a lot of times they'll do a demonstration in front of the class. So I was in a class. Hey, Jackie in Canada. Awesome. And I was in this class, and a woman was being used as a demonstration. And this was a long class. It was a week-long class. It was a really intensive class. And this was maybe like day 3 or 4 of the class, right? So this woman comes up for a demonstration, and she talks about how it's difficult for her to read without wearing reading glasses. And then even worse than that, it's even harder for her to read without using like a Kindle so she can get really big print, you know. And she was talking about how sad it makes her because she just really loves to read. And she was just really sad about it. And so the instructor, as a demonstration, tapped with her on this sadness over not being able to read without her reading glasses or without a Kindle or whatever. She really loved holding a book in her hands, you know, and so that was really important to her. So the whole class is tapping along as they're tapping, but we're not doing any of the scripting for ourselves or anything. We're just tapping. We're just going through the motions of tapping. So we did this demonstration, and this was like maybe day 3. I think it was like day 3 of a 5-day class. And I tapped through that, and this woman, you know, felt like she got some resolution from those feelings of sadness over the reading. And we went back to class the next morning, and we'd been working out of these workbooks, and they were using, of course, slides, you know, on a big projector, and the workbooks had little copies of the slides, but they were so small that I'd been using my reading glasses all week to read the slides. So I got into class the next morning, and I opened up my workbook, and I got my pen out, and I just started taking notes. And I got about 2 pages into my notes when I realized I hadn't used my reading glasses at all. So cool. And honestly, that was in August. I haven't needed to use them since. So that's just like one of those really cool stories about, that's what we call borrowing benefits, is when somebody else is tapping for something, you're just tapping along, you're watching, your mirror neurons are firing off for you. You know, you're maybe in some kind of empathetic space for the person who's tapping. And you get the benefit as well of that tapping. You don't even have to be doing your own thing. So Faith and I are going to demonstrate this today. We're just going to tap for something for her. Now, she had a little something happen this week. Yesterday, actually. She's in a homeschool co-op class, and they got assigned into teams, and the teams got given certain assignments. And each team member got given a certain assignment. And Faith was given the assignment to study a particular topic, and her topic that she was given was forestry, and she was extremely disappointed about that, right? Because what did you want to study instead?
Wildlife.
She really wanted to study wildlife. So she's struggling with this, and she agreed to tap with me over these feelings of disappointment and frustration, right? Is that what you feel? Disappointed and frustrated, maybe?
I feel a bit better now, but I'm still not very happy.
You're not very happy. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you feel?
I don't know.
You feel not very happy?
I guess.
Do you feel sad?
No.
You feel angry?
No.
Frustrated?
I guess.
Frustrated?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you scared that you're not going to learn it? Or more frustrated?
I think I might be a bit scared that I'm going to
mess it up?
Yeah, and in front of everybody.
Okay.
And disappoint my team.
Oh, you don't want to let your team down?
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So we're going to tap today on Faith's feelings of frustration and disappointment and not wanting to let people down. So I was really happy when she told me she was willing to tap on this particular topic because I knew it was going to bring out these kinds of feelings. And there's such universal feelings, right? I bet, Faith, that everybody who's watching this has felt that way at some point. So all you have to do is just watch, tap along, just do the tapping. You don't have to do any of the scripting. Just tap your points and, hold little Faith here in a little safe space inside your heart and just listen along to the scripting. And let's see if you can also have some benefit that you're borrowing from Faith's experience around this feeling of, frustration and disappointment and fear of disappointing others. Okay. So that's what we're going for today. And again, like what happened with me in that class, we did that whole tapping demonstration and then that was maybe in the middle of the day. Then we went to dinner, then we had a whole evening and then, we came back the next morning and it really wasn't until all that time had passed that I realized the benefit that I had gotten from this. Now that was a physical thing. So I just had to come across the occasion to use it, but we can get that same kind of thing emotionally as well, right? Sometimes we carry something around for a long time and then suddenly we realize, oh, I haven't felt this way in a couple hours or a couple days or a week or something, right? Like I used to feel this way all the time. So don't discount it, right? If you don't immediately feel some kind of big shift in yourself, don't discount it. You still may be getting some benefit from it. All right. Are you ready to tap with me, Faith?
Okay.
Okay. Don't worry about that. They're gonna watch us, okay, from the camera. We'll just do our thing, okay? So we're gonna start here. Okay. So even though I really wanted to do wildlife. And they're making me do forestry. And I am frustrated. And I'm afraid I'm gonna screw it up.
And I'm afraid I'm going to screw it up.
I'm still a great kid.
I'm still a great kid.
All right. Even though I'm in Envirothon. And I really wanted wildlife.
And
they gave me forestry. And I'm afraid I'm going to mess it up. And let everybody down. I'm still a great kid.
This is working. It makes
Already?
me want to laugh.
All right, you can laugh. That's fine. I'm still a great kid.
I'm still a great kid.
All right, one more time in the setup. Even though I really wanted forestry. I really wanted wildlife. Whoops.
I really wanted wildlife.
I got forestry instead.
And I
don't think I'm good at forestry. Even though I live in the woods. I'm still a great kid.
I'm still a great kid.
All right, let's go through our points. I really wanted wildlife.
I really wanted wildlife.
Wanted wildlife.
Wanted wildlife.
Really wanted wildlife.
Really wanted wildlife.
Don't want to let people down.
Don't want to let people down.
I don't want to mess it up.
I don't want to mess it up.
I don't want to mess it up.
I don't want to mess it
So
up.
I wanted wildlife.
So I wanted wildlife.
I don't want forestry.
I don't want forestry.
I wanted wildlife.
I wanted wildlife.
Because I don't want to let people down.
Because I don't want to let people down.
But it's okay.
But it's okay.
I can learn this too.
I can learn this too.
Because I'm awesome.
Because I'm awesome.
And I'm smart.
And I'm smart.
And I can learn this.
And I can learn this.
And I can rock out this Envirothon.
And I can rock out this Envirothon.
All right, take a deep breath. All right, do you feel better?
Yeah.
All right, so when we first started tapping, Like how bad did you feel about it? Did you feel this bad, this bad, this bad, this bad?
That bad.
Just a little bad?
Yeah.
How bad do you feel about it now?
This bad.
Like hardly any bad?
Yeah.
Do you want to tap and see if we can get rid of the hardly any bad?
No.
No? We good?
Yeah.
All right. How do you feel about wildlife, or how do you feel about forestry now?
I don't know.
Faith, you're doing forestry. How does that make you
I
feel?
guess it might be easier to study than wildlife because it would be easier to practice on trees of figuring out what kinds they are.
Okay. All right, cool. Thanks. That was awesome. You want to stick around while I talk about it, or you want to go?
I'll stick around.
All right. Okay.
How
So,
long is this?
Well, just a couple more minutes.
Okay.
So we're pretty much done, and you saw a lot of cool stuff there. We do some things a little differently with kids, like you saw when I, asked her how activated she was. Instead of doing the scale of 1 to 10, giving her something a little more concrete, like, how much space in your hands, how upset were you? So that's a little easier for kids. That's just a little note if you're tapping with kids. We also changed the scripting a little bit. So things like, I'm a good kid, I'm okay, right? Normally I would use the phrase, I love and accept myself. But that doesn't make sense to kids, so it doesn't make sense to a lot of adults, quite frankly. So I changed the scripting around a little bit and made it a little simpler for her, right? But you see how quickly, like once we started working through the scripting, even before we got through the setup, she was already starting to feel better about it. And so once you feel better about it, you can begin to reframe. And that's what we reframed a little bit. Reframing means putting it into kind of new words, into a new context. So starting to say, it's okay, I can study this even better, I live in the woods, right? And so she completely had what we call a cognitive shift. She shifted the way she was thinking about it by the end of it, right? By the end of it, she was able to say to me, it's probably easier to study for wildlife because I do live in the woods and I have these trees
Forestry, not wildlife.
Or forestry. I keep getting them mixed up, don't I? It is easier for me to study forestry instead of wildlife because I live in the woods and I have all the trees around and I can practice on the trees, right? So she's made some kind of internal emotional shift where she's let go of those disappointing emotions enough to be able to just let her brain run with it and say, oh gosh, this might be a better decision. This might be easier for me, right? So she had a shift. So now, kids are so easy to tap with, right? You see they get into it, and Faith is really good to tap with. She usually can resolve things really quickly when we're tapping. So in terms of the borrowing benefits, hopefully you were able to get a little something out of that because it was so quick, You can really borrow benefits, and this is a benefit of doing group coaching or doing group tapping, is when you're inside a group and you have one person who's tapping on their issue and everybody else is just tapping along. It's kind of a two-way road. All the other people are sort of holding this empathic, empathetic, safe space for that person who's working through their issue, and at the same time, they're getting the benefit of that work that's being done. So yes, Bonnie, it is extremely cool. This is one of the coolest things about tapping, and it's why I'm super excited to tap in groups, to, do group coaching and tap in tapping circles. So anyway, that's a little bit about borrowing benefits. Check in with me later on if you watch this, and let me know if maybe you get to something and you're like, hey, I was able to let something go. I was able to think through something a little differently after that. Let me know. I'd love to hear it from you. And you know why I do this? Because I love you. I care about all of you, and because you are so darn worth it. You are worth taking this few minutes and taking some time to tap and taking some time to work out some things that are just built up inside of you, right? You're worth it. Let's do it together. Have a fantastic evening, folks, and thanks, Faith. You say bye.
Bye.